Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sean's Mapping or the Sultanate Empire, and in today's video, we are going to be continuing What If Civilization Started Over. Let's go ahead and get into today's video, where we are actually going to be seeing the treaty or peace talks of World War II. If you did not see the update video, I suggest you go check it out. World War II is practically over as the remaining allies of the African Dominion and the African Confederation have all but not really surrendered over, but agreed to peace talks due to the current leadership not looking so good. So we are going to go ahead and start this video off by looking at what is going to be happening over here in Africa in terms of the peace talks in about 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we have uh, here we have Africa following the peace treaty. This is what Africa currently looks like, with the African Dominion and the African Confederation being split up into a bunch of independent states. The South African Empire gaining back a lot of old lost territory, this country coming back, this one, and this one also returning. Also, Tanzania returns as a country. We technically have two Tanzanias. We have this one, which is the original Tanzania, and we have the new Tanzania. You would expect these guys to unite with these guys, but they're not, because this one, the current government, has kind of forgotten about their values and their traditions and like their origin down here, because they've been living up in the Horn of Africa for so long. So they're not actually going to reunite, and instead these guys are going to become an independent country. Right over here, you can see that this Central African country took some land from, conquered the Green Team, if you will. And mind you, they are a fairly populated Central African country, if you will. Like, they have zero ocean access, and yet they are still quite populated with people. And also still get quite a bit of tourism as well. And that is because they have a lot of good interesting sites um scattered around their country, and they also have very good neighbors, primarily the West African Empire, Sudan, and also their southern Central Africans as well, and also a bunch of new countries that have popped up that may become friends or foes depending on what happens. And I mean, they are shaped very weirdly, but hey, it is what it is. The Saharan Kingdom takes over this part of the Green Team and all of this other country right up here, and then they split this other country that was right here with the Sudanese. Meanwhile, the West African Empire got a little bit of land right down here from the Purple Team. And what else? Oh, yes, Tanzania, or well, the Empire of the Horn, takes this entire country over and, does some good old stuff right over there. That is the current situation in Africa. Let us go ahead and go and look at South America right about now and what it will be looking like following this peace treaty. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is what South America is currently looking like following the peace treaty, with the red team's colony down here being gobbled up by this country, this country, this country, and the South African Empire. The blue team's colony got split between this country, this green country, and of course the orange team. And that is it. Also, the two native countries that were over here got gobbled up by the United Islands of Southeast Asia. So let's go ahead and take a look at the my brain broke. Let's go ahead and take a look at North America now in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at North America, and I wanted to show you guys a before. Uh, Basically, this is what North America looks like before the peace treaty, because a lot of stuff is going to change following the end of this peace treaty right over here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right about now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here is the after of the treaty. As you can see, this is what it looks like after the treaty. And of course, you have what it looks like before the treaty. There's a lot less countries here and stuff like that. There is also practically no more colonies. Well, I say practically, there is no more colonies here in North America. Every single colony that is up here has either been taken over or uh, granted independence from their colonizer. Now, back down here, we are actually going to resume about a year after the war ended, because the war ended in 1933, about a 9 to 8 year long war. We are actually going to resume the conference of South America because the war kind of started because the blue team wanted to claim too much. And now it is kind of at the point where it's a big fat no bueno to claim that much territory. And now the orange team has a colony here in South America. So we'll see how that turns out for them. But let us go ahead and look at the new and improved Treaty of South America, which will be dividing up the lands that remain in the area right now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the revised version of the Treaty of Africa, where we will be seeing the orange team taking all of this territory right over here in the Amazon rainforest area. We'll be seeing this uh, get all taken by the northern pink Australians. We will be seeing all of this territory right here get taken by Colombia. And all of the territory right down here we will be seeing get taken by the native tribe down here. So that is it in terms of the treaty for World War II and also the Conference of South America. But we are not going to focus on the New World because we focused on that for a little bit too much. Instead, we are going to go ahead and focus over in this area, over in Asia. Why, you may be asking? Well, that is because the plague. I believe it's called the Shangxi plague. It started up here in northern Korea in one of their cities, the city of Shangxi, I believe it is called. Correct me if I'm wrong by going back and watching the videos. But as you can see, the plague has spread fairly far and fairly vast and quickly throughout certain areas. However, like I said, there is a German scientist that is trying to develop a cure, and the vaccine he has is able to delay and stall the effects of the virus, but not completely stop said virus. And they're trying to really figure out how to deal with this plague quickly, considering it continues to spread. That is the wrong layer. Considering it continues to spread and it is now beginning to slowly but surely start infecting the one of the most populated countries in the world, which is the Indian Empire down here, which is no bueno. Once you have a very populated country start to get infected, that's kind of when things start to go downhill. Now, a better country that would have been able to do this kind of research would have been the Dominion, but the Dominion no longer exists, and most of their research facilities are now spread out through a bunch of newly formed countries that don't really care about the virus right now. They're just trying to survive and live. And plus, it's all the way in India. It is nowhere in Africa. And they're not going to be seeing the virus anytime soon, so they think. But the virus quickly spreads through India's cities and rural areas, but a lot slower in rural, non-populated areas. But in most of their heavily densely populated areas, the virus spreads fairly quickly. Down here, we actually find some, you know, a different outcome, where we see the United Islands of Southeast Asia or Oceania begin to push back the virus because they're doing what Korea is doing. They are killing anyone who shows signs or symptoms of being sick, and they are humanely dealing with them. So the virus does get stalled over here in this area, but something that humanity realizes is that, well, it's not too easy to do this. It's not that easy because it's very hard to tell who's sick and who is not sick. So they do end up accidentally killing some people who aren't really that sick, and even if they are sick, they don't have the virus. It was like just a common cold. And also, it gets to the point where because of the virus, the forces forget that well, Vietnam is an independent country and they accidentally push into Vietnam and only notice that they are officially in Vietnam once they reach the capital. But the Vietnamese and also I believe this is like Myanmar, the Myanmarian troops, along with the United Islands of Southeast Asian troops, they all begin to work together and do the same thing to try and combat the virus in their area. And they do exactly that, which allows the German scientists to actually come over to this area with the virus being mostly quelled and culled in these areas. So they come to Vietnam and they begin to do experiments and research and testing with the vaccine that they currently have on a bunch of people who are sick that were captured instead of killed and are now being used as subjects to try and save the rest of humanity, especially with how fast this virus is spreading. Now, it still doesn't look good, and a lot of people are still dying to this plague, and a lot of areas infected have gone into practically complete chaos at this point. But that, ladies and gentlemen, I would say is a very interesting thing to be happening right about now. But we're going to go ahead and look over here at what's happening with the Moldovans. As the last time we heard, they attacked Romania, stole a ancient artifact from the Empire of the Horns, stole an ancient artifact that was given to Romania by the Empire of the Horn, and is now in a Moldovan and is now in a Moldovan museum. Originally, it was in a Romanian museum. And so we're going to see what's going to be happening to the Moldovans. And well, what's going to be happening is the Romanians declaring war on the Moldovans, attempting to kick the Moldovans' ass and also teach them a lesson for messing with them. Now, this is a very, very defensive war for the Moldovans, and uh, also with everything that's happening, the Eldirian Empire decides to do one thing, and that is to form the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations, the SIN. The SIN, the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations, is basically this world's version of the UN. We will go ahead and quickly take a look at all of the people that will be joining the sovereign independent Council of Nations. So the I or the SICN. So let us go ahead and take a quick look at every person who will be joining the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations right now. Alrighty, here are all of the countries that are joining and that have joined the SICN, the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations. Again, which is this world's version of the UN. There is no such thing as a Security Council. This is primarily a democratic um type grouping of like countries. Like, not all of these countries are democratic, of course, but the system itself is basically like the UN General Assembly, where it has to be a majority vote to pass, and a majority vote has been passed, and the first thing has been passed. Well, their first voting session has been passed on what should they do about Moldova and Romania. Well, the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations tells Moldova to give back the fossil that they stole from Romania, and for Romania to stop their invasion of Moldova. If both sides refuse to listen, Independent Council of Sovereign Independent Council of Nations will in fact send troops in from the Byzantium, the Caspian Black Sea Empire, and also Eldirian forces. Since there is no proper sovereign independent of council nation forces just yet, like they have no proper like military peacekeeping forces. And also, they do begin to take charge of the research and also the experiments that are going on down in Vietnam to deal with the virus and the plague. Now, as you can see, not all countries joined, not many countries joined, but a couple, a good portion of countries joined. And over time, they might gain members, they might lose members. We'll just have to wait and see what goes ahead and happens right over here. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have for today's episode. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire, and I would just like to say, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and go ahead and go beneath the video and give a big old thumbs up. Basically, hit that like button. If you didn't enjoy today's video, go ahead and hit the dislike button and tell me how bad the video was. If you, in fact, want to stay updated or know the next time I post or upload a video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell notification icon next to the subscribe button so you are notified and told the next time I upload or make a post onto my channel. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you beautiful ladies and gentlemen enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you may be, wherever you may live, and I'll see all of you